Out of that batch of 9,700 or so tests, there were only 2 cases identified. One was actually someone from Melbourne, and the second case, I understand from Dr. Chant, is still being investigated, but not a bad result for 9,700 tests. But our ability to contain the spread, to control the virus, will only be enhanced if people keep coming forward to get tested, even with the milder symptoms. And obviously that second case relates to that student at Riverview School, which Dr. Chant might have further information on. Can I also say that whilst we are dealing with the virus, whilst we're encouraging people to come forward and get tested even if they have the milder symptoms, we're stressing to people, please maintain your social distancing no matter what you're doing outside the house. That is the new norm. That is how all of us will live. Make sure you keep your distance no matter how familiar you are with the surroundings, no matter how familiar you are with the people you're with. Unless you live with the people in your household, you have to maintain that social distancing and be extra cautious. Even on touching surfaces, avoid touching surfaces. The virus spreads just from potentially touching a surface where someone else who has the virus has touched that surface in a short amount of time. This virus is extremely contagious. And the only way in which we'll be able to resume normality is by all of us keeping our social distancing, but also making sure we come forward and get tested even if we have the milder symptoms. And whilst we're dealing with the health issues, we're also obviously keeping a keen eye on the economy. It's all about jobs. It's getting back those hundreds of thousands of jobs we've lost in New South Wales. It does play on my mind every day. I want people to feel secure if they have a job, and certainly to feel they can get a job if they've lost their job. And that's why New South Wales, whilst we always take a no regrets policy in relation to saving lives, we certainly will maintain our assertive policy in terms of reopening the economy and getting jobs back and making sure that we can sustain that. And that's really critical to the future. We don't want to be in a position where we see more people losing jobs. More than 220,000 jobs lost in April is beyond our wildest expectations in terms of what could have happened, and we certainly are in the phase of doing everything we can to open our economy, to get people working, whether it's from home or whatever works best for them, but also maintaining that public safety through social distancing. And that's why I'm very pleased today to be joined by the Minister for Planning, Rob Stokes, who's done an outstanding job in accelerating the approval process for major projects. The processes haven't changed, but the time to assess them has. And today Minister Stokes will be talking about some major projects that have received approval in Western Sydney in particular, which not only means the community will have access to those extra opportunities, whether it's a recycling plant or whether it's a brick factory, but also knowing that those new projects come with hundreds of jobs to support the economic boom that we hope will happen in Western Sydney during and after the pandemic. It's really important for us to keep things going as much as possible. I'm very proud of the fact that even during our darkest days of the pandemic, the jackhammers have still been going, projects have still been continuing, projects have still being progressed and built, and we intend to maintain and accelerate that where we can.